Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Pro Guru Gyan. So we are going to start with the new session. The session we are going to create is on the Webpack. Now you can see my screen. So basically we are going to cover a Webpack in this session. So be with me till the end of the session. I will make sure that next time when you will go for any interview and in your current organization, someone will ask you to create a module bundling for your current project, right? To create a build folder for your project and to do the optimization in your project, you will never get afraid. I will make sure that in this video you will learn a lot of things in the Webpack with the code implementation, with the hands-off implementation. Once after the build, you will do the code changes, or you will make the build for your existing, or if you will try to create the new project in the React application, definitely you will take the benefit. So without wasting time, I will let you know what topics that we are going to cover in this video. So let me open my VS Code. So this is my VS Code. Okay, so what we are going to cover in this session, we are going to create a React application. So this is a simple React application without using any scaffolding or the boilerplate. For example, I'm not going to use create React app. I'm not going to use the Next.js app. As you see in my previous application, most of the builds that I have created using the Next app, which automatically do the chunking for you. So I just want to discuss one thing, like what people do is what I did a lot of times, that I use the Next.js, I use the Create React app to build the project. So when we build our project using these scaffolding tools, we didn't get to know much about how behind the scene the build is getting we how the module is getting created for the project, how the chunks are getting created, how the optimization is being handled, how the split chunking is working, how the internally minification is doing, how your functions names are getting shorter, and which actually help us to improve the performance, how your build time is getting reduced, how you are creating the separate development build and how you are creating the separate production build, that you didn't get enough knowledge when you use these kind of scaffolding like React app, Next app. You generate the project through the white. So there are a lot of packages of the scaffoldings are available in the market which you directly use. But if you want to know the core behind how the front end project actually built, then this is the place, this is the video where you will learn it from scratch. You will become zero to hero, right? So you will learn a lot of things in this session. First we are going to create the Create React application, then we are going to create a Webpack config from scratch for the development and the production. We will create the how you will pass the entry file, how your dist folder will get generated inside the output, how to resolve the JSX file, because I'm going to use the JSX in this project, how the loaders work, what exactly the Babel loader, what exactly the style loader, what is the CSS loader, what is the load images, how why we need it, why we need these all the loader which I explained, right? What is the use of the Babel loader. Once we will do the development of this whole session, right, then I will cover each and every loader, and I am damn sure that at the end of the session everything will be crystal clear, right? You will never afraid to explain anyone that okay, I know this. Because when I take interview, I always ask a question like, do you know the Webpack? Do you build any project from the scratch? Okay, so which bundlers, how you build your project, right? So these are the question. Actually, when you ask from someone, then you get to know that okay, he actually work in a core way, right? So because if I'm asking someone from the React that did you work for the React, he will say that okay, I worked on, I created the component. But in a project you can relate, like the few people get chance to work on these kind of concepts, right? When the people join any project, they got to know that okay, they need to build some components and all, right? So but they didn't get to chance to work on these kind of module bundling, how the build will be created for the project. So if you will learn these kind of knowledge, you can upfront speak in your organization, okay, I will work on the building part of the application, right? Then you will get the lot more knowledge, right? So we are going to talk about the loaders, we are going to talk about the plugins, what plugins that which are helpful in the Webpack, HTML web plugin, what exactly the HTML web plugin, what is exactly the Terser plugin, what is the mini CSS extract plugin, why we use it, what is define plugin, or how you can do the optimization, how you can create work with the dynamic imports, how you can create the separate component wise chunking, how you can do that, how you can create a separate chunk for the your shared modules, how you can use the performance in your webpack configs, mean to say how you can define your bundler maximum size, right? After the size, let's suppose you are fixing it as a 50 kb, after the 50 kb you will get the error, or you will get the warning as a hints. So these all things I'm going to cover in the one video, so I would request you to please stay with me. You will never feel regret after watching this video. Whatever time you will spend, I don't know how much time it will take me to cover all these topics when I will start doing the code, but at end of the session I definitely make sure that you will learn something different from this video. So let's start with the code part. Okay, so what we are going to do is I'm just going to create my package.json first, right? Okay. Okay, we need a documentation for that, right? Okay, I so this is Webpack YT session version. This is my name. Okay, so my basic package.json has been created, right? So now you can see that in this package.json, when we created using the npm init, it gives you a basic information about name, version, description, scripts, author, etc. Right? The license one. Right now, what I'm going to install is npm install. So as I already mentioned that this project is going to be on the React side, so I'm just creating some basic React project, right? So React DOM. Okay. Okay, so this is my package.json. Okay, the npm node modules has been created. What I'm going to do is I'm just creating a one folder over here, which is going to be the source folder, right? Inside the source folder, there will be the new folder called components in ts components. At root of the project, right, I'm going to create the one more folder that is a public folder, right? Inside the public folder, I'm going to keep my index.html, right? Okay. So as you know that if you already work on the React application, right, inside the body, what we need to pass is we need to pass our dev whose ID will be React, right? This is the container where our inside this container our React application content will get rendered, right? So dev ID equals to root, right? Okay, so index.html has been created. Next, inside this, so this is a source folder, this is a components folder, right? So what I'm going to create is I'm going to create my first component, right? It should be index.js, right? And one more component that I'm going to create is app.js, right? App.js component is basically a simple component, nothing fancy stuff. We will do the lot of changes in this component, right? So as of now, I'm just creating a simple structure of the React application. So I'm not going to use any fancy scaffolding tool like Next.js, like Create React App, like White, Remix, and there are a lot of scaffolding boilerplate tools are available. So we are going to work with the core Webpack. So I'm just creating a simple React application. So I will do all the module changes, bundle changes by myself. So I don't need any boilerplate as of now, right? So yep. So this is a app component that I have created. I'm going to the index.js. What I'm going to do is import React from React, right? Import create root from what react hyphen dom slash client, right? Okay, now what I need to do is create root, right? What I need to pass is I need to pass my container over here. So and okay, so this is container element, right? And what I need to pass is my root option, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass document dot get element by id, and I'm going to pass root over here, okay, dot right render. What it will render for me, it will render my app.js for me, app component. Okay, in the app.js, this is a basic simple component. This is the index.js, right? So what I did is when firstly I run the npm init. Inside the init, I installed two dependency. One is a React and second one is a React DOM. After that, what I did is I created a one index.html inside the public folder where I specify my the container, which is created with the id is equal to root, right? And then I created a source folder. Inside the source there's a component folder, and inside the component there's app.js and index.js. Index.js is will be my entry file which I will pass in the webpack config, right? So this is the create root document.get element by id root dot render app component. This is for the React application, right? The next step that we are going to do is okay, so I will install two more packages, npm install Webpack. These are the core packages which we are gonna talk, right? Webpack CLI, Webpack and Webpack CLI. Okay, so what exactly the Webpack is? Webpack is actually a module bundler, or you can see that when you work with the any boilerplate, right? It automatically create a dist folder for you or the build folder for you. So that build folder actually create the chunks, right? The chunk should be the minified chunks, or chunks contain the information about your files that you have created inside your project, right? So this is a very important part to understand why this is very important to understand the concept of the Webpack. What exactly the Webpack? It helps you to build the build folder for you, which actually create the chunks, right? So we are going to build this from the scratch, right? So now what we did is we have installed the Webpack and the Webpack CLI, two packages, right? So now jump into the package.json. I'm just going to create a one script over here. Um, it should be the debugged, right? Okay, it should be run using npx webpack, right, hyphen config. So I'm going to create a Webpack config with the Webpack development.config.js or Webpack.production.config.js. If you will create a Webpack.config, if you create a Webpack.config.js inside the root folder, then you don't need to pass this hyphen config something. So because I'm changing the name Webpack.config.js to the Webpack.development.js or Webpack.production.js, that's why I need to pass the hyphen config over here, right? So development dot config dot js, right? Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to create this file over here. Okay. So this is my webpack development.config.js. What I need to do is I just need to create a module.exports, right? I need to pass the entry. So to understand what exactly the entry and output, I will take you to the documentation part. So inside the documentation, if you will see, here is a concept of the entry. In the entry, what you need to pass is you need to pass your entry file. Okay, so let me take you to the code. What I need to do is I need to pass here. And what exactly are entry file? This is inside the source slash component slash index. Okay, src slash components slash index.js, right? This is our entry file. Okay, now the next step is to do the output. right? On the basis of this entry file, where my dist folder will be created, okay, and what should be the name of my bundle. Okay, so what you need to do is you just need to copy this. I will take you to the VS Code. Now paste it over here, right? So in the output folder, what I'm saying is path.resolve directory name and dist folder. It will create a dist folder. And what should be the your bundle name? I'm just passing as a bundle.js, and it will pick name as a dynamically. It will pick the dynamic name. As of now, it will create the name of the bundle is a main.bundle.js for you, right? So this is going to pick the dynamic name for you, right? Not we can pass the fixed name over here as well, but it will create a problem further. But I would recommend you to pass the name inside these brackets, right? So we are done with the entry and we are done with the output part. Let's run the first command, yarn deb build. Now you will see the start seeing the error over here, right? First error comes. So what exactly? Path is not defined. Okay, so this is a very basic error. Okay, what you need to do is const path is equals to these errors are very important to understand. Once you will see these errors and you will see me to fix these error in this session, I make sure that you will never forget these you will not face these kind of errors in future, because you will recall that okay, I saw these error in that particular video, I know that how to fix it, right? So let's fix all the errors, right? Yarn dev build. Okay, so the new error comes. What it is saying, you may need an appropriate loader to handle this file. Currently no loaders are configured to process this file. Okay, so what we are using, we are using the import statement here, right? Imports, where we are using the import statement, right? Where we imported the import app component, right, in the index.js. How it will understand the import, so these all are the ES6 syntaxes, right? So we need some translator or the transpiler to transpile this code into the ES5. So the current running environment understand that, because most of the old environments, right, understand the ES5 syntaxes. So that's why we need to transpile or translate into the ES5. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a Babel. So I at start of the session I tell you that what scenarios or the what loaders that we are going to cover in this session. We are going to cover the Babel loader as of now, right? It actually translate your code, right? So I will take you to the documentation part. What you need to do is you just need to search the Babel loader. It will take you, it will open a Babel loader documentation for you. If you didn't watch my Node.js playlist, I created a one session completely on the Babel where I discuss about what exactly the Babel loader, what is a Babel core, what is a Babel preset, and all these things that I have discussed thoroughly on my Node.js playlist. If you haven't watched it, then I would request you to please watch this playlist. This will very beneficial for you. So let's back to the current session. What I need to install, I need to install these packages, right? The Webpack is already installed, so I'm not going to install it again. I'm going to install Babel loader, Babel core, and Babel preset env. I will explain what exactly the uses of these packages, right? So okay, so I just need to go inside the VS Code and npm install hyphen save hyphen dev, right? So what exactly the Babel core is actually a main core package which is required when you want Babel to work, right? And the Babel loader is actually a loader which help us to interact the Babel with the Webpack. So with this loader you can work with the Webpack and the Babel, right? The Babel, the preset env is the actual real package which actually required to translate your code, and which help us to which helps the older browser to understand the code, because it helps us to translate your ES6 code into the ES5. So preset env is a very important package. You need to understand that the JavaScript which you are written in a ECMAScript ES6, that this package is responsible for translating it to the ES5. So make sure that if someone is asking you in your interview which package is responsible for translating your code from ES6 to the ES5, then you will say at the rate Babel preset and is responsible for that. What is the use of Babel core? Babel core is a main heart, right? So this package is important to use with the Babel. What exactly the Babel loader? Babel loader is a loader which works the Babel and Webpack together, which helps the Babel and Webpack to work together. So these all three packages are very important when you are trying to work with the Babel loader, right? So the next thing what you need to do is you just need this, you need to create the module, and inside the module you need to specify some of the rules. So how you do that? Uh, Once you work with the entry, once you define your output, you need to create module, right? In the module you should create some rules, right? What rules you need to create? You need to just copy this code, right? Okay, we'll talk about that, what this code do. Okay, so we pass the JS, MJS, and CJS is not required. We are not working with that. I'm just passing the JSX over here. So so what we are saying is, so for JS or JSX files, exclude the node modules folder, load the loader, which is a Babel loader, which actually use this Babel preset environment package to translate your ES6 code into the ES5. So this is the this is actually the written code is saying, right? So this particular code is explaining what I already said. Consider these JS or JSX file, exclude the node modules. I will not translate the node modules folder. I will only work with the this particular package, which actually helps to translate your ES6 code into the ES5. So this is the use of this package, right? Now run yarn dev build again. Let's see. Okay, what exactly the error comes now? This is something different error. Okay, so it's saying add Babel preset react. Okay, we didn't discuss about this package, right? Babel preset react. As per the documentation, if I will take you, we discuss only Babel loader, Babel core, Babel preset n. So there is a difference between Babel preset n or the Babel preset react. Babel preset n work with the JS files, which actually translate your code from ES6 to ES5. But Babel preset react, it is actually helps to understand or to translate your JSX file, right? Basically, if you want to translate your JSX file, then you need the Babel preset react. If you want to translate your JS from ES6 to ES5, then you need the Babel preset N. I hope I cleared these things. In interview, they will ask you what package of the Babel, what exactly do, right? So this is very important to understand, right? So I will install this package first. Just copied it. npm install save -dev. Okay, and okay, what I'm going to do is I'll need it. I'm removing the target default, passing it over here. Okay, what mistake that I did? Got it. Right, now I'm running it again. Yarn dev build. Right. Okay. Okay, so now the issue has been fixed, right? So it created a basic test folder for me where it created the main.bundle.js. Okay, I will show you. If I remove this name from here, right? I written the bundle.js. I'm removing this dist folder. Now you need to understand how the main is being added into the bundle.js, right? The clarity is more important, right? So when I will create the yarn dev build, now you will see that inside the public folder, it will create bundle.js only, right? In the dist folder, now you can see that the bundle.js file is created. So we can't use this name because in further optimization or the further plugins, this bundle.js, if I will fix the name over here, the bundle.js, when I will do the cache group, when I will create the cache group inside the split chunks, it creates the problem. So that's why I'm taking the convention of adding the name inside these brackets to make it main.bundle.js. So I'm deleting this folder over here, right? I'll delete it. right? Now I'm again generating it. And one more thing that it said, the mode option has not been set. Okay, we will set the mode option. The mode option that we need to set over here, and we will pass it as a development, right? So there is a two mode. One is a production, one is a development, right? Actually, this mode helps us to decide that helps to it actually helps the Webpack to decide that what kind of optimization that it needs to do in the production build. When you pass the mode as a production, Webpack itself do some modification for you. It do the minification, the dead code elimination, the lot of things that it do. We will work on the dead code elimination as well in this session, so I'm not forgetting it. So we will cover that as well. If you are still with me in this session, then I would request you to please click like and subscribe. Please click on the bell notification so you will get the notification of the upcoming session. So let's jump into the further Webpack. So this is gonna be the very interesting one, right? So okay, so yarn deb build, right? Now you can see that I just resolved all the warnings, right? The mode warning has been resolved, right? The no warning for the mode is coming. So now you can see in the dist folder main bundle dot. So now what exactly the next expectation, right? Let's jump into the this. So we have created as of now basic React application. We will cover the further things for that. We will create some of the components. So I'm just covering what we have covered. We created the one Webpack config which we have created from the scratch. We will create the another Webpack config as well, but before that I'm just putting the done. So it will tell me that what things that we have already covered and what exactly is pending, right? So the entry and output we have covered, right? The resolve, okay, resolve is pending, right? What is the purpose of resolve? I will let you know. Let's search resolve, right? Okay. Okay, so basically in the resolve, what you can do is, it's a very simple one. In the resolve, what you need to do, you need to pass the alias and extensions, right? What extension that you are going to tackle, right? Okay, okay, I'm just picking this code and going inside my config, right? I'm just passing the same over here. Okay, I'm telling the extension would be JS and JS6, right? And alias, right? In the alias, what I need to pass is, okay, let me take you to the documentation. Okay, in the alias, this syntax I'm just copying over here. I will tell you, okay. Okay, here they are passing some name. I'm passing at the rate. You will understand very soon what I'm doing. Okay, so this is a directory name, source, utility. I'm just passing source over here. So now you will see what I'm going to do is, so let me take you to the index.js, right? In the index.js, in the app component, right? In the index.js, I'm getting it from the the dot slash app, right? What exactly my app.js, right? This.js. Okay, so now what you can do is, if you will write the syntax like that, at the rate slash, right? At the rate slash, like components, right? Slash, okay, app, okay. Now this will be resolved as well, right? Now you have fixed the alias as a at the rate, and after the at the rate, which will resolve the source folder for you, then after that you can pass the component slash app, right? Now I'm going to yarn deb build, right? Now you can see that, right? The build didn't break. Okay, so if I do one thing to make sure that the code is working as expected, I'm changing it as a hash. Now you will see that my build will got break. It will not find the at the rate, right? Now you can see that, right? So at the rate, what exactly at the rate? It didn't resolve it. If you fix the alias over here, so you don't need to pass source slash component slash something over there, right? So you can pass simply like at the rate slash component slash whatever the file or the component that you want to be import, right? So this is the benefit of the resolve and the alias. I hope I clear it, so I will mark it as a done, right? So the inside the loader, we already covered the Babel loader. Babel loader, I thoroughly explained that what it actually used to translate your code from ES6 to ES5. So we broadly cover the Babel preset and Babel preset React, Babel core, Babel loader, right? Now it's time to work with the style loader, CSS loader, or the load images, right? Now I'm going to use the style loader and the CSS loader. So for the style loader, what exactly the style loader do is actually it inject the css into the dom. So let me create one css file over here. So while creating the files, it will give you more clarity when you will see the error. So I will not fix the error directly. I will create the css file, then run the build. I will import that css, then you will see that what exactly error comes, right? Why we need that particular loader. So if you will see the error, then definitely you will recall in your mind every time when you will work on the Webpack build, right? So I'm just going to create the one file over here, that is an app.css, right? In the app.css, I'm just going to create one class container. Okay, display column flex. Okay, flex direction, flex justify content column center line items column center. This, okay, height something 400. Okay, and background color will be something red, right? This is a class that I've created. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is app.js, right? Control X. Here I'm just going to create some div, right? Inside the div, this is an app component, right? Here I will add the class name, and whatever the class name is, a container one, right? And what I'm going to do is import, right, app.css. Now be ready to see the error, right? What I did is I just created a simple app.css where I created some simple CSS class and I import that particular CSS file. So now run, it's time to run the yarn dev build, boom, right? Okay, so the error comes, what it's saying, okay, what exactly it's saying, /app.css can't resolve app.css in the components request that should need to start with dot slash. Okay, sorry, I did some mistake. This is not the actual error, this is the blender error. I didn't write the dot slash with that. Okay, ignore it. Yeah, debugged. Okay, now this is the actual error. Okay, so it's saying you may need the appropriate loader to handle this file type. Currently no loaders are configured to process this. How this file will get loaded, because we are not using any loader with that, right? If you see the application like the create react tab, right, which actually internally do everything for you, which actually create a webpack, right, webpack files for you. And if you use the next.js, which automatically create a build for you, right? So you didn't get a chance to understand how internally they are using these kind of loaders to load the things. Right now we are working on the webpack. Maybe they can work on the rollup as well, so we will cover the rollup as a particular in our next session, but this session intent is to cover the webpack only, so be with me. So now we are going to use the two loaders over here, because we can't use the css loader. Uh, we need to use the style loader with the css loader, because both of loaders are important if you want to load your some css file, right? Style loader basically inject your styles into the dom. And what css loader, it actually translate your css code to the javascript, right? So which is being understand by the webpack, right? So I'm using the two loaders together. So what I need to use is I need to install these particular two loaders, style loader and the css loader. Okay, let me install it. Npm install save loader style loader. I can save -dev. Okay, I forgot to install the css loader. I will install it that as well. Css loader. Okay, okay, let me check into the package.json file. Okay, css and style loader has been installed. Let me take you to the webpack development config. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to inside the rules we need to pass this, right? So now you remember, right, in the module we created the rules for the Babel loader. Now the new rule will be created for loading the CSS. I already mentioned that style loader will inject your styles to the DOM. CSS loader will translate your CSS into the JavaScript, right? I will show you that how the bundle will look like once I will run these loaders. Once I will run the yarn dev build, I will show you in the bundle how your CSS is being injected, right? So CSS loader is basically used to translate your CSS into the JavaScript, which is being understood by the Webpack, right? And the style loader is basically used to inject your styles to the DOM, right? Yarn dev build. Okay. Okay, so now the build has been passed. Now what you can see is in the main bundle.js, if I will show you my container class, right? Now you can see dot container, right? Okay, so inside the dot container, display flex, justify center, align items, right? You can see inside my main bundle.js, you can see your CSS. We will optimize this, right? We will pull out this CSS into the separate file as well. So we are going to cover that as well in this session. So be with me if you are thinking like why I injected the CSS in this bundle file. But this is the step to understand in the development mode when you are using the style loader with the conjunction with the CSS loader, then it will inject your CSS into your bundle, right? So this is very important to understand the development point of view. But in the production build, we will change the scenario. We will pull out this CSS into the separate file as well. Okay, so now we are good with this, and go to the what we style loader we have covered, right? CSS loader we have covered, right? Now I'm just adding one more thing over here. uh, Okay, so Webpack dev server, right? You can run your development build that we have created the development config, right? So you can create, you can run that build, you can run your project with the help of the Webpack dev server as well. So what exactly that? Just taking you to there, Webpack dev server, right? This is a dev server API. You need to install this package over here, npm install, right? Okay, I don't need it. Webpack. I need Webpack dev server only, right? I just need to copy one of the file which they have created over here, right? So this is the file I need it. I need to create the server.js in my, I will create this file in my root directory, right? Just copied it, just go here, create the server.js, right? Okay, so my server.js has been created where they are requiring your webpack config.js, but in our case, the name of the webpack file is webpack.development.config.js, right? Development. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I will just run. Okay. Okay. npm. Okay. What you can do is you can run node server.js. Okay. What it will do is, okay, it will, okay, it will run your to the 8080. Why it's not loading? Let me check. Go to the console. What exactly it's breaking? Okay, console. Okay, let me jump into the over here. Okay, I think of it. We are passing. We are running the development config. In the development config we have passed the entry file correctly, right? Inside my index.js, what I did is I passed my okay. Okay, what I need to do, I understand why it is not working, right? So what I need to do is I need to use one plugin over here that will actually Okay, so that will actually create a index.html inside the dist folder, right? So okay, so what I can do is I will go to the this Webpack documentation, and inside that I will use an HTML Webpack plugin, right? I will discuss with you what exactly this plugin do, right? Okay, yeah, okay, npm install HTML Webpack plugin, right? How you will use this plugin? You can go there. You just need to require this plugin, right? I'm going to require it in my development config, right? And the next what we need to do is we just need to pass this inside the plugins, right? Okay, these are the modules, right? After the modules, we will create these plugins, and inside this plugin, we need to pass the two options. What will be those options? We will see that, right? We need to pass the path. First, we need to pass the template, right? What template will be dot slash where it is public slash index.html, right? And we need to pass the path as well, index.html. Now we need to run the yarn dev build, right? Okay, I created a yarn dev build. Now you can see that when I run the yarn dev build, it automatically create the index.html. So what exactly the benefit of this HTML Webpack plugin? So what it will see is if you are creating your basic HTML inside the public folder, it will pick your index.html and place it inside the dist folder. Mean to say it will copy your index.html which is you created inside the public folder to the dist folder and automatically inject these bundles with the index.html, right? You can see that the main.bundle.js. The next step is yarn okay, yeah, okay, node server.js. Okay, so okay, now the actual error comes, right? We need to fix it. And the app.js react is not available. Okay, fine, we will fix it in the app.js. Where is my app.js? Okay, let me import. Is this the error in the app.js only? Right. Import react from react. You can see when I added this, it actually make my build pass, right? I am running it again, node server.js. Now you can see that my dev has been created, right? So what I'm going to do is this is in my app.js, right? I added the one container class in the app.css, right? Okay, display flex, justify content center, right? Align item center, make it as a, okay, what happened here? Okay, okay, I forgot to add the 400 pixel, right? That's why it was not creating, right? In the app content, right? Now you can see that, right? In the network, I will take you to the network as well. Uh, Now loading my page, now you will see my bundle main.bundle.js. This is the same bundle that you can see over here, right, in the main.bundle.js. So as of now, what you learn is how you can create your development config, right, which is actually responsible for creating the bundle for you, which actually contains your code. The code can be in as a minified code. You can do the several optimization on your build, right? As of now, we use the CSS inside our component, which we have injected into our bundle as well. We use the CSS loader, we use the Babel loader, we use the resolve, how you can create the alias, and on the basis of alias you can refer to the other folders. Like I created alias for the source folder, right? I don't need to use the source everywhere, source slash component. I need to use @ slash component something. I covered the entry. In the entry we pass our entry file. In the output we pass, we decide where the chunk output will be stored in the dist folder at the root of the project, right? We covered the Babel loader as well, right? What is the use of Babel loader? What is the use of style loader? To inject the style. The CSS loader is actually used to translate your CSS into the JavaScript, which is being understood by the Webpack. So we have covered this. We run our development config with the help of the Webpack dev server as of now, right? So the next thing is that we can use the load images as well. How you will load your image in your project. So for this, what I need to do is I just need to copy one image into my public folder. So I will do the same. I just downloaded one image in my computer, right? So what I'm going to do is in my laptop, I will just copy one image. I will put the image inside the project folder, which you are seeing. You will see the image over here. I'm just pasting it right. The session. Okay, now session inside the session, right? Webpack YT session. Okay, inside the public folder, I just copied it. Right now, you can see that I just copy this pizza.jpg, right? So in my app.js, what I just want to, I just want this image right over here, image, right? src is equal to. So my assumption is like I'm sitting on the app.js, or it is inside the public folder dot slash public slash pizza.jpg, right? I just want this JPG to be the loaded for me, right? I'm just running the dev server again, server.js, right? So now take you to the browser. Now you will see that my image is not properly loaded, right? So actually it's not getting the image, right? Now you can see that. Okay. So dot slash public slash pizza dot what I was expecting is like, right? So it will get my image, right? So I'm sitting over add.js here. So what I can do is I will run the yarn dev build, take you to the browser, refresh it. Okay, so what exactly it is doing? So it is not finding the pizza.jpg, right? Dot slash public slash dot slash public slash pizza.jpg, right? So what we can do is to load your image, right? So you can do one more thing, right? Import my image from where? Here, right? And you can pass your image like this. Now what it's saying, okay, so now actually the webpack error is coming, right? Now you can see that you may need an appropriate loader to handle this file type. Currently no loader are configured to process this file, right? So we need a particular loader to load this jpg kind of thing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just taking you to the webpack configuration. So we will search loading here, right? Load images. Okay, let me take you here. So what setting we need? We need this setting. We need to pass png, jpg, then type is asset resources. We just need to do this kind of modification only here. So I will take you to the webpack development config. Under this we just need add it, right? So where we are adding, inside the module there is a rules, and inside the rule array we are adding the new rule, right? So now we just running the dev server, we are just running the node.server.js, right? Now you will see that. Now you can see that my pizza image has successfully being loaded into the page. So in this way you can load the images in your project as well, right? So now you can see that, right? My image has been loaded. Now exactly, now go to the here. So you have load your images as well, right? I'm just marking it as a done here, right? So now the next step is that webpack html webpack plugin that I already covered. It actually copied your html file from your public folder and copied it inside the dist folder, and also inject your bundle.js file into the index.html that I already covered, right? In the index.html file, you can see that your main.bundle.js, right? So now go to the uh, uh, go to the documentation, what go to the go to the things that what we are going to cover. So now this is a Terser plugin, mini css extract plugin, define plugin, right? Optimization. So now it's time to create the production build, how further optimization is required in the production build, right? So what I'm going to do, I just copied it and paste it over here, right? Renaming it, and I will change from development to production. Um, okay, so this is the webpack.production.config. I will make it as a production, right? So now wait for one thing. I will just open a main.bundle.js. You will see what exactly the bundle over here, right? So now I just change the mode, right? I just change the mode in my Webpack production, right? I'm just taking you to the package.json, creating a new script over here. It's a prod build, right? And here I'm passing production, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm just creating yarn prod build. Before entering the yarn prod build, make sure that we only made as of now change mode as a production, and my current bundle look like this, right? The development bundle. When I change it from development to mode production, now you will see that how this bundle got changed. Yarn prod build. Okay. Did you see it automatically did the minification? And there's a lot of things that mode the production do, so we will thorough discuss what changes actually do. So when you will change your mode from development to production, it automatically do the minification for you, it automatically do the dead code elimination for you. What exactly the dead code is? So if you have some function which is not being called by anyone, if you have some imports which is unused imports, it automatically eliminates from your bundle, so to reduce the bundle size. But it actually increase the optimization of your bundle, right, of your build. But there is another plugin is available which actually do the more uh, mean to say there is a plugin available which actually do the minification for you, mean to say the enhanced level of the minification. That is kind of the Terser plugin, right? So by default, when you use mode equal to production, it do the minification, but it is not exactly the same minification what Terser do. Terser do the optimized minification for you. And dead code elimination, yes, it also do the dead code elimination for you. We will see an example how the code elimination actually done. But when you use the Terser, it actually do the dead code elimination in the enhanced way as well, right? So Terser plugin, so when you use the mode equal to production, it optimize your build by shortening the function names, right? So by structuring your code, by reduce you, it actually reduce your bundle size. But when you use the Terser plugin, what it do is it actually remove the white spaces, it actually shorten your bundle name, it adds some smaller names to your function, which is actually being, which is not a human readable form, but yes, it is being understandable by the Webpack, right? It drastically actually reduce your bundle size. So for if you want to do the optimization, if someone is asking you how you can do the dead code elimination in the best way, then you will answer it like, okay, I will use a Terser plugin for that, right? So before jump into the Terser plugin, we will jump into the dead code elimination first, right? So in the dead code elimination, I am just going inside app.js. I'm just creating some function over here, right? Const fetch user details console.log test user. Now this is a dead code, right? I'm not calling this function anywhere, right? So this is no use for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just deleting the dist folder, right? I'm just running yarn dev build. Now you will see that this will be a part of development build, right? I ran the yarn build. I just copied this. Okay, fetch user function, right? Not use it. I'm again running it. Okay, now taking you to the dist folder. Inside the dist folder, there's a main bundle.js, right? Uh, okay, I just need to copy this fetch user detail. When I search it, what this function is doing inside my bundle, I'm not using it. This is dead for me. If inside my code I wrote on click, right, something like that, click, then I can consider it as this function is being used. If in this case this function exists in my bundle, then that is okay, right? But if I'm not calling this function anywhere, then why this function is being existing in my bundle, right? So let me search it, right? It's here. Now what I'm going to use is I'm going to run my production build. Now you will see that it will automatically be removed, right? So when you set the mode equal to production, it automatically do the dead code elimination, but I am repeating it. You can find it on the Google as well, on the Stack Overflow as well. When you do your, when you use the Terser plugin for the optimization, it do the optimization more than that what mode equal to production do for you. It automatically do the compression. When you use the Terser plugin, it automatically shorten your functions name, it automatically reduce your bundle size, it automatically work on the dynamic imports as well, which mode equal to production don't do. When you do use mode equal to production, it do not remove that particular dead code which is like dynamic imports kind of things, but Terser plugin do that for you. So make sure that when someone will ask you why we use Terser plugin, you will explain everything what we have already discussed, what exactly the difference between node equal to production and what exactly the difference between Terser plugin, right? So make sure that you remember it. If you forget it, then again watch this video. You will recall the things. Before going to the interview, I will request you to please watch my video. You will remember everything in the Webpack. So I make sure that nothing will be asked in a Webpack out of this video, right? No one will ask you out of. They will simply ask you how you do the minification, how you optimize your build, how you will fix the size of your bundle, that we will see, how you will do the dynamic chunking, component wise chunking, that we will discuss, right? So if you are still with me in this session, I would request you to please click like, subscribe. Let's jump into the next part of the video, right? So for the optimization point of view, I'm going to use the Terser over here. So let me search the Terser. Okay, so this is the Terser plugin. I'm just copying it. So as of now, this project is a very small project, right? It's a create React app. It's a simple React app that we have created from the scratch. But when you build up big projects, right, where you have the multiple files, multiple components, then this Terser plugin definitely works very well, right? So I'm just I will tell you how to do the setup for that. NP save dev, okay, Terser Webpack plugin. So you just need to do the some small things. You have to create the optimization. In my production build, I will just take you over here. We just need to below the plugins, I'm just going to use the optimization. In the optimization, what we did is minimize true. Okay, in the minimizer we call the new of Terser plugin. Okay, we import this Terser plugin. Now what I'm going to do is yarn prod build. Okay, I'm just opening my bundle as well. You will see that there are some changes happen internally in the bundle, right? So now you have seen that there is a few there's some kind of flicker over there, right? So it do few things out of the box which mode equal to production didn't do that, right? So we need to remember. I will add the readme.md as well. So what mode equals to production do? Production mode equal to production versus Terser, right? I already explained the difference, right? I already explained the thorough difference, what exactly these two things do, right? So now jump into the next part. So we covered the Terser as well. So the next thing is that the mini CSS extract. This is a very important plugin that we need to use. What exactly it do is, as of now, you have seen that in your main.bundle.js, you will see container, right? Dot container, right? You can see your CSS over here, right? Uh, Let me display colon flex box, right? Let me search the background. Okay, so here is my CSS in this bundle, right? So I don't want my CSS to be the part of this main.bundle.js. I want the separate style to be created inside the dist folder. For that, I will use the mini CSS extract plugin, which will actually extract the CSS from the JS and will create a separate file inside the dist folder, and that CSS file will be attached into my uh, index.html using the HTML Webpack plugin, right? So now what I'm going to use is I'm just installing npm install, if I remember, mini CSS extract plugin. We will check it. Mini CSS. Let me check it on the Google documentation. Mini CSS extract plugin. What exactly the plugin name is? Okay, so this is like this. Okay. Okay. How we are going to use this, we will add the rule for that. Okay, so a rule we already added for the CSS. So in the production build, what we need to do is, inside my webpack.production, you have seen that initially we loaded the style loader and the CSS loader. If you are working with the development webpack, then you can use the style loader, which actually inject the your style to the DOM, right? But when you are working with the production build, what you can do is you can use the mini CSS extract plugin dot loader. It will extract your CSS and will create a separate style file for you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just running yarn prod build. Now you will see what will be happen over here inside the bundle. As of now, okay, so there is some error, right? Okay, you forgot to add the mini extract plugin. Okay, I forgot to add this in plugins, right? Which I did mistake. Okay, comma. Now I need to run it. Yarn prod build. Okay, so in now you can see that the main.css is separately, the main.css file is being created. So as we have run the prod build and we are using the HTML Webpack plugin, which automatically inject, which actually copy your index.html file from the public folder, put it inside the dist folder, then inject your bundle.js file or CSS file inside the index.html. Now you will see index.html file inside your dist folder. You will see that the automatically the CSS file is being injected inside your dist folder index.html. So if you you can stop my video and see the video again if I'm so if you miss something, then I would request you to please stop it, make it take some pause and watch it again, the previous thing that you have missed. So the intent of this video is to make sure that you at end of the video you have a strong grip on the webpack, right? What things that we can do with the webpack. So I am putting my whole efforts to create this video, how the webpack works, how we can create an effective build using the webpack. There are a lot of things that inside the webpack documentation, it's not possible to cover the everything, but I will make sure that if you are going somewhere for the interview, these are the basic concepts that you know about that. And if you are in your current organization and someone is asking you to build a project on the webpack, then you have a confidence to say that, okay, I am taking the responsibility to make a build for my front end project. Yes. Okay. So that would be a very great. If you really like the video, then please click like, subscribe, and put the comment over there. And okay, see the documentation, see the points that we have written. So we cover the mini CSS extract plugin as well. So I'm making it as a done. So now what exactly the define plugin? So define plugin is a very important plugin. So so you, in your project, if you work on the, if you have already have an experience on working on the production apps, right, where you see that for the production you want your URL to be that different, for your development you want your API URL to be the different. So define, what define plugin do is it actually used to replace the constant value in your code, right? So you, in the Webpack config files, you can define the variables inside your config files which have the different value according to the environment. If you are running the prod build, that, then in that case that variable will be set as a different value. If you are running as a development build, then that value will be different one. So it will be more clear when you will see an example, right? So what you can do is, I'm just okay. So there is a no need of what you need to do is you just need to go over here. We don't need to install any new plugin for that. We can, what we can do is simply go inside the plugin, right? From where we, okay, so I will make it as a defined plugin. Okay. Yeah, this we will get from the Webpack as well, right? Okay, Webpack.define plugin, right? So here I'm just passing my API URL kind of thing, right? API URL colon http colon slash API slash v2 slash GraphQL, right? Okay, so in my app.js, what I can do is I'm just doing console.log. So now you can see that I don't have app URL declared here. I'm just directly using it, app URL. How I will get that, right? When you will build your code, it automatically replace this variable with the value what you have set inside the production.config. So it can be different value for the development config as well. So if I am passing API URL is this http API slash prod slash v2 slash something slash GraphQL. So in your development config, you can pass it as a http colon double slash API slash dev slash v2 slash GraphQL, right? So I'm not going to create it the same inside the development build, but I will show you when I will run it how that value I will access it inside the app.js. So what I need to do is yarn prod build, right? Okay, so now we seen some error, right? What exactly the error? Okay, while analyzing unexpected token, what exactly that? Then index.js unexpected token, back.define. In the index.js, what we did is inside the app.component, right? Inside the app.js, we use the app.url. Okay, I'm just removing my older dist folder, right? Okay, let's fix this issue. In the app component, there is a console.log. Okay, fetch user, test user. Okay, in the app.concatenation. Okay, while analyzing the module, so there is an error. Unexpected. Okay, what exactly this is? Unexpected token. Okay, if I remove this line, is my build is getting successful? I need to check it, right? So we got to know that is the error is with this line only. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the error is with this line only. Okay, so why it's not getting API URL? So if I have created inside the production build new of Webpack. Okay, let me take you to the documentation part, right? New of Webpack.define plugin. Okay, okay, I got it. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to use the JSON.stringify. Why you need to use it? I will tell you. They have mentioned in the okay. So when defining text. Okay, note that because the plugin does a direct text replacement, the value given to it must include the actual quote inside the string itself. Typically, this is done either with the alternate quotes, such as a production. They what they did is they add the extra quote over here, or by using the JSON.stringify. So the fix for this problem is right. Why we are fixing that? I will run it. You will see that the error will come over here, right? Now this error is coming, right? So to fix this error, what you need to do is you just need to wrap this URL with the json.stringify. Now this error will got resolved, right? When you create any variable over here that will work like an environment variables, then you need to pass here, right? Now you can see that your production build has been passed. And one more thing that I just want to say, if you will run npx serve, right, dist, right, you are running the production build, right? So you will see this is running on the localhost colon 3000, right? Okay, so production, if you want to debug it, how you will debug it? You will search your file right inside the source app.js, right? Okay, so this is the main bundle, right? Now there is a no app.js. This is the main.bundle, right? Main.bundle.js. If you want to debug it, what you need to do is you just need to go over here. Just need to pass devtool colon right source map, right? There is a cheap source map option is available. There is a lot of options they have mentioned in the documentation which you can use according to the what your requirement is, because some of the these source map, cheap source map actually impact your build speed as well. So how much time the project is taking to the build, they increase it. But yes, definitely for the but when you want your project to debug right on environment or somewhere, then definitely you need to use the dev tool over here, right? So I'm just running the build again, dev prod build. Webpack has initialized using the domain that does not match with the okay dev tools. Maybe I did some mistake. Okay, okay. Let me. Okay, sorry, I did some mistake. Source map, right? Okay, let me. Okay, after that, we will check the documentation. Okay, so now your production build has been successfully done. If you will see the dist folder over here, now you will see that there is extra file is being created, that is a map.bundle. Main.bundle.js.map. Now I'm running the npx serve dist. Now when you will reload it right on the browser, okay, now you will search app.js. Now you can see that your file is available, right? Now you can debug your code. So in this way, you can create the source map as well, right? So this is very important for the debugging point of view, right? So now what things that we have covered so far? We covered the define plugin as well, right? Okay. For the optimization, we can use the split chunk as well. So for what exactly the split chunk is, we will talk about that. Just go to the documentation. Split chunk is basically used for the optimization. Inside the split chunk, you create the cache groups where you specify that for your node modules, you want a separate bundle. For your shared modules you want a separate bundle, right, where you fix the threshold for the maximum threshold for the chunk files or the bundle that you have created. So there's just so many optimization that you can do inside the split chunk plugin, right? So what we are going to use, I'm just going to copy this whole part, right? The split chunk one, right? Let me take you to the production config, right? In the optimization, I'm just going to copy it, right? So now you will see that chunks async only for the chunks those are loaded as an async. This will work. Optimization will work. The minimum size should be the 20 KB. After that, the optimization will be occurred on that particular modules, right? If some chunk or the bundle is lesser than that 20 KB, then no optimization will be happen. So there are a lot of information they have added. Enforce size threshold is after the 50 KB if you want to do anything, because if in force size threshold, maximum size of your bundle should only be the 50 KB here. If you want to do something, you need to add the hints where you can throw the error in case of if the size greater than the 50 KB. We will add the performance optimization here, where you will see that if my bundle size grows, I will display the warning for you, right? So leave it as of now. So this is my cache group. Now you see that this is the node modules, right? To create a separate bundle for the node modules, what you need to do, what you need to make two options. One is name vendor, right? Another was a chunks colon all, right? So by passing the chunks colon all means it will apply the optimization for all the chunks, right? Passing the name as a vendor means to say you want your chunk to be named as a vendor, right? And here you are considering only the node module folder. And one thing that we need to do under the optimization, we need to make the chunk IDs. Let me go to the documentation. Okay, so here is my named. Okay, chunk IDs. Let me take you to the further. Okay, so the named chunk IDs, right? I just want to, okay, it is possible to use the chunk IDs column named as in the production, but make sure that not to accidentally expose the sensitive information about the module's name. So whatever the bundle that you have creating, instead of creating the chunk ID, you can create it with the name as well. So that's why we are going to pass the chunk ID as a named, right? So this you can pass it over here. Right now, when I run the prod build, you just need to focus on the this dist folder. Now you will see that the vendor will be created, right? For when node modules, there will be a separate bundle will be created, right, with the name of vendor bundle.js. Did you notice that, right? So in this way you can target the multiple chunks. You can create your own chunks on the base inside the cache group by adding some criteria. As of now, I created as a test. Now what I'm going to do is I will create one of my common component that will be invoked inside the two other components. So I will try to show that how the common chunk I will create, right? For that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a one folder over here, that is a share folder, right? When you work with a production app and when you are working with your own apps, right, you create some of the component as a common components, and you want your components to be invoked inside the multiple places, but you want your shared folder files to be as a separate chunk, right? You want that. What you can do is you can create the folder over here. Inside this folder there will be a one component called button component, right? Button.tsx. const button component export default button component return button. It will return button, right? Learn Webpack. What exactly is okay? Right, it's a button component where I'm calling it inside the app.js JSX, right? Hmm, I'm calling it here. I'm just creating a duplicate of the Webpack button component inside the components, the another component, right, which is dashboard component. Actually, I just want my button component to be called inside two components, inside the app.jsx and the dashboard component. Oh, by mistakenly, I created the button.tsx. It should be a JSX. Okay. So inside the here, I need to change the name dashboard component, right? Dev dashboard component, right? So this will be called inside app.js, right? Now you can see that button component is called inside the app.js, button component is called inside the dashboard component. So let me take you to my Webpack production config. So what we have mentioned is a minimum if chunk is called more than one time, right? Greater than, so this condition will be called inside the cache groups. So minimum chunk, so my button component is called more than one time, right? Inside the dashboard component it's being called, and inside the app.js, so it's totally called two times, right? So I just want my the name of my chunk to be the common one, right? As of now, if you will see, okay, so what I can do is I will remove this condition. I'm not going to do it. I will run the prod build first. I will show you where my button component will be called, right? We will add this optimization later. In the main bundle.js, if I will take you, you can see that my button component is here, right? What exactly it is doing over here? This is my main bundle. Why I need it, right? I don't need it. So to fix this issue, what I can do is I create a default. So now, as of now, you remember, please remember it, right? So as of now, it's being called inside, it's being injected inside the main bundle, but I want to remove it. I want to load my separate bundle for that, for the optimization point of view. So now I'm going to do yarn prod build. Okay. So now you will see that. Okay, it didn't do that any. It didn't do anything, right? So now the minimum size is 20 KB. I'm reducing it. Okay. Okay, it didn't do anything. Now what I'm going to pass the another option, which is chunks colon all, to optimize the things for me. Have you seen it created a chunk but common bundle.js for me, right? In the common bundle.js, you will see the button code, right? Now you can see the button code is inside the common bundle. If I close it and go to my main bundle, now you will not see the button code over here, right? Initially, previously, no result found, right? Previously, I showcase you that the button component is being injected inside the main bundle.js, which is not ideal solution, right? I want to create a separate bundle for my common file. So you can add any criteria test inside your cache group, right? So this is also the important things that I just want you to learn if you are new to the Webpack. If you are experienced in Webpack, then definitely you know everything. But if you still like something about this video, I would request you to please click like and subscribe. For that, it actually a true motivation if you like it and you will subscribe it, right, or like the video or comment it, right. So don't forget to put the comment if you really like it, because it actually matters that your comment actually matters for me. It actually motivates me to create a more stuff like that, which actually help us to learn the things in a deeper way, right. So okay, so we learn it how to create the common bundle. So what exactly is pending in this video? We are done with the split chunk as well. There are a lot of things you can go through the documentation part, but I'm covering the most things that which actually help us to build the bundle for your project, which even if you will if even if you understand this kind of uh, things that I have the changes that I have made in this video, I'm damn sure about that you can even make the production ready build, right. Further, there are the lot of changes that you can do. I didn't deny that, but this is sufficient to create a production ready build. You can do the further optimization, compressing and everything, but as of now it's good to start with the bundling part of any project, right. So now the thing is like the dynamic imports, right. This is every, I think if you are a React developer, you have worked, you have listened the react.lazy, right. So let me take you to the documentation part. You can use the dynamic import. Once you do the dynamic import, once you load your component as a dynamically, right, it Webpack treated it as a separate chunk for you, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a one more component over here, that is my test component. Test component, and I will import this component as a dynamic component, right. Dynamically I import it. J6, right, const test component, export default test component, right. So let me take you to the documentation. uh, React, sorry, let me search the lazy one. Okay. So lazy lets you defer loading components code until it is rendered for the first time, right? So I'm just copying it over here. Syntax. I'm just copying the syntax and go to the app.js, right? So okay, first I will comment it, right? I will call this component, right, which we have created with the test component, right? Test component, right. I'm not, at the very first instance, I'm not loading this component as a dynamic import. I simply import it like that we do. So now when we run the prod build, we will see that where the code of this component is being injected, right. This test component, let me take you to the main bundle, right, where actually it is being injected. Common, okay, let me check. Prod build, I'm removing this dist folder. Right, in the main bundle.map test, okay, where it is being injected. Okay, so this is being injected inside the common bundle, right? So we want this component to be we want this component has a different chunk, right? So what we can do is like what we need to do is we just need to enable it, right? This is a test component dot jsx, right? Copy it, pass it, right? Okay, so what you can do is in the documentation, if I will see Webpack, okay, so they haven't added lazy loading, right? Inside the lazy loading, code splitting and lazy loading. Okay, okay, let me run it. Okay, so let me delete this dist folder first, right? And what we can do is we can go inside the production config, right? We'll make it as a 20,000 20 kb, right? Running the yarn build, it will create a dist folder for me, right? So source bundle, okay, okay, source bundle. So if it's being created inside the test component, okay, so now you can see that it's created a separate bundle for me, that is a test component gsx bundle.js. So this is the test. Okay, so that component is being now you can see that I have injected it inside the app.js as a lazy component. Now it created a separate bundle for me, right? So inside that, if I do some changes, right, in the test component and putting my name over here, Pradeep, I'm running the prod build again. Okay, so now you can see my name over here, right? Right? So we have created a separate bundle as well with the help of the dynamic imports, right? So what we can do one more thing over here in the app.js. So there is a syntax, right? I need to find it out. Webpack, Webpack chunk name inside React Lazy. Okay, so in the import, what you can do is you can pass it like that. Okay, test component chunk, right? I'm deleting my existing dist folder. Okay, I hope what I have explained so far is clear to you. If the things are not yet clear, then please pause the video, start watching it again. I tried my best to explain each and everything thoroughly in the Webpack session. So if you want more this kind of videos, then do let me know. I will create more videos, in-depth videos on the front end core things, right? So let's jump further, right? So we have created the test component chunk, we deleted it. So now when I'm running the yarn prod build, you will see that my expectation is inside the dist folder it will create a test component chunk for me, right? Let's see it create or not. Okay, that's great. So we achieve it, test component chunk dot bundle dot js, right? Before adding this web chunk name, you have seen that it created the name by itself. That name was not good. So what you can do is when you use the lazy and you use the dynamic import, inside that this import you can specify the name of your chunk, what you expect, right? Which which name that you want in your dist folder to be created according to your component, right? So it created a chunk of my test component.js as a separate chunk inside the dist folder with the name of test component chunk.bundle.js. I hope things are clear to you. On this part, I have covered the dynamic imports as well. So now the performance is pending, right? So what we can do is let's me take you to that's a very small thing that we are going to discuss over here. Uh, okay, let me search the performance. Okay, so inside the performance, what you can do is in the module.export, you just need to add this configuration, right? So there are a lot of things that you can add in your production config to improve your build, right? You can speed up your build. You can there are a lot of plugins are available. So I would request you to please go through the documentation of the Webpack. So the things will be start clearing, right? So okay, so what I'm going to do is in my webpack.production.config, uh, what I'm going to do is just no, I will not put it over here. Make it kind of here, right? The performance hints warning, right? Okay, let me run it. Is there any warning coming? If not, we will add the criteria when the warning will start coming, right? Now it's no warning is coming. How the warning will come, we will update over here. So the maximum size, we are expecting it to be the maximum asset size, right? This one. Now it's coming or not? We'll check. Now you can see that, right? Maximum asset size, but it started giving the warning in the asset size limit. The following asset exceed the recommended size limit. The recommended 97.7 KB. This can impact the web performance. The vendor bundle.js is 137, right? So it started giving warning to you. Now add the another thing like max entry point size, right? I'm adding it. You can break your build as well. If I will put the error inside that, it will break it, right? So I will make it as a smaller numbers, right? I will remove the max asset size. Okay, now we'll see. Okay, now you can see that in the entry point size limit, the following entry point combined asset size exceed the recommended size 400 bytes, right? This can impact the web performance, right? So the main bundle, it's approximately 140, right? So that's why it trigger the warning for you. If I will add instead of warning, I will add the error. You can set the budget. You can even set the budget for each and every chunk that you are creating inside your dist folder. So that is also a technique to do that we will discuss. So now you can see that, right? It will fail your build, right? If I will delete it, right? I did it. Now run the yarn prod build. Right. Now you can see that in the dist folder it's being created, but it's giving the error to you. In the error, it's saying in the entry point size limit has been. You can make your build field on the basis of these criterias, right? This is a very important factor. Let's suppose you are in the organization where multiple persons are working on the same code base. If someone is increasing the bundle size, then you can configure in such a way Webpack config. You can set the size limit. You can set the budget of the particular chunk file. Like if you are setting it as a 250 KB, if someone add more code in that particular file which actually increase the chunk, which actually increases your chunk size, then your build should be break, right? And then you will get notified if you are reviewing your peer code, and you will get to know that okay, he created some mess in the code now, which actually increases your chunk size. Now is that a valid code? If he added a valid code, then definitely you need to increase the budget of your chunk, right? If that is an invalid code, that can be lazily loaded, that can be created as a separate file, that you can then that particular piece of code that you can move in a separate file, which actually help us to reduce your chunk size. Then definitely that is a valid changes, and you can fix the problem, right, by doing some improvements in your code base. So this is all about the session. We have covered a lot of things in this session. सो इस सेशन के अंदर हमने बहुत कुछ करके देखा है। हमने बेसिकली रिएक्ट एप्लीकेशन बनाई है, वेबपैक कॉन्फ़िग के ऊपर काम किया है, एंट्री आउटपुट रिजॉल्व, लोडर्स के अंदर वेबपैक लोडर, स्टाइल लोडर, सीएसएस लोडर, वेबपैक डेव सर्वर, लोडिंग इमेजेस, एचटीएमएल वेब प्लगइन क्या होता है, टर्सर प्लगइन क्या होता है, मिनी सीएसएस एक्सट्रैक्ट प्लगइन क्या होता है, डिफाइन प्लगइन क्या होता है, ऑप्टिमाइजेशन, सेपरेट चंक फॉर शेयर्ड मॉड्यूल, डायनेमिक इंपोर्ट्स और द परफॉर्मेंस के ऊपर काम किया है। इफ यू रियली लाइक द सेशन, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट you to please click like and subscribe. If you want more this kind of sessions, I am willing to do that. I will create a separate session on the roll up as well. So I am planning to do where we will compare that how Webpack is different from the roll up. So stay with me in this journey. I will try to make as much as videos which actually helps to understand the core front end things. Even will create the videos on the back end concepts as well. So I just posted one video recently, that is a build real-time leaderboard using the Redis streams. I would request you to go and watch it. This will help you to understand how you can build the Node.js application, how you can build the Next.js application, how you can process your data on the real time. It is actually works like Redis stream actually works like Kafka. So it's a very unique concept. You will understand that how you can process your real-time data. So I have created the Node.js playlist as well. So I would request you to go and watch. If you really like the session, please click like and subscribe. I will meet you in the next session. Goodbye. Thank you.